the day, drugs were like spandex, everybody was doing it. No one wanted to admit to it. And when you got to a certain age, you had to stop.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't be 30 and wear spandex. I don't care who you are. Stop it.
Okay.
I was going to say I got away with that.
Spandex, okay.
Well, in Phil Sandoval's situation, he had to stop wearing armor.
No way. Wear the armor.
Yeah, that's true. It got really hot under that leather, let me tell you. It got really hot under the leather.
I mean, hey, who wasn't listening to Armored Saint in like
I know
8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade?
Absolutely.
And
I mean, it was about. Do you remember there was a band, Jag Panzer? I think that.
Yeah, of course.
It was all that just. It was just so awesome metal, man. It was just, God, it was so good, man. God, there was an era and a time when it was like it was all about Armored Saint.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really was.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome,
we have a new album coming out. October 23rd. It's called Punching the Sky. We're doing online upcoming show at the Whisky, and that's October 10th. And me and Will have a long history. I've known Will for a while, and I used to work with him. We worked at City Post right there off 6th and Market on the Tenderloin. There's nothing tender about the Tenderloin.
Yeah. Hey, I want to tell the story how I met Phil.
Okay, go ahead.
I had a friend a mutual friend of ours named Gil. He was working at this place called City Post. It was a place that was kind of in competition with the U.S. Postal Service, and we would just deliver junk mail to businesses downtown. We'd push a mail cart around and just deliver junk mail. It was never anything anybody wanted. They were never happy to see us, at least me. they were never like, oh, more junk mail. Anyway, so our mutual friend got me the job. I show up the first day, and we're down in the dungeon, like fucking sorting mail, and everyone has their own zip code. And at the time, I was in a band called Old Grandad, and we were pretty popular. In San Francisco. This is like 97, 98. And metal was starting to come back in the city, but we were one of the only San Francisco metal bands around at the time. So we got a lot of attention. Anyways, I was working, and people were talking to me about Old Grandad. I was talking about shows we just played and whatever. And I could see this long-haired guy in the corner of the basement just kind of glaring over at me. And I'm kind of just talking big about I'm a drummer and all the shows I'm playing, whatever. And he's looking over at me. He's kind of glaring over at me. And I was like, what's up with this dude, man? This guy seems like he's like scoping me out or some shit. So I kind of started.
Were you looking at Will's ass?
Actually, he was right across from me.
yeah. So I start small talking with him, like, hey, you like metal? And yeah, we're just talking about music a little bit. And he goes, yeah, I was in a band. And I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go, another one of these guys. Like, I used to play, like these bitter dudes that just had never amounted to anything. So I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, what band were you in? Kind of being a dick about it, like, oh yeah, what band were you in? He goes, Armored Saint. And I just looked down for a second, and I looked at him and I go, you're Phil Sandoval! I go, oh my god! I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Foot in mouth.
I was so stoked to meet him. I was like, dude, I fucking love Armored Saint. So everyone in the office were like watching my reaction and like going like, what the hell? Like they didn't know Phil had this miraculous, like amazing history, And he was pretty low key at the office. So everyone was kind of looking at him like, what? What are you talking about? This guy Metallica used to open up for him? What? And I was like, dude! So the next day, I came back to work with all the Armored Saint vinyl, the Armored Saint VHS, everything that Phil is on. And I was like, look at this guy. Look at him! He's wearing the armor and shit. You haven't done that. It's like everyone started giving Phil props and like, looked at him in a different light at work and gave him more respect or whatever. And he was stoked. He was like, dude, thank you for, I haven't felt this good in a long time, and it was my pleasure because Armored Saint are one of my favorite bands ever. And I just couldn't believe I was working.
Hey, Phil, did you get a raise?
He should have.
Did you?
No, we worked with some guy. We worked with some mafia guy from Chicago. He probably was in the Gambino family crime. He wasn't going to give me a raise.
Yeah. Anthony,
you're lucky you're alive then, right?
Yeah.
Will come at you with a pen and make you sign all that stuff that he brought in.
No, actually, he signed the EP. I was like, sign the EP, dude. But I remember some of the guys working there were like, God damn, Phil, you're on VHS even? Like they were most impressed with the VHS tape through Red Times.
That's OG right there, VHS.
Right.
Super OG because I'll bet you he's got some tapes on beta.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
That's some super OG, right? That's double, triple OG right there. You got a beta tape.
Well, I believe I was promised props from you today. That you were going to present some of these props. Is one of them an Iron Maiden VHS? I mean, excuse me, an Armored Saint VHS.
Oh man, that's packed away so deep. I don't have it right now. I do still have it, of course, but yeah,
of course
it's
you
packed away.
do. I have zero doubt that you have it.
Here's a question for all of us musicians. I mean, some of us have VHS tapes. I've never been on a VHS tape, an official one. But is anyone on an 8-track? I mean, no. Overkill never had an 8-track, did they? No.
No.
Yeah, okay. Armored Saint never had an 8-track, did they?
No.
Okay.
No.
Man, you guys were close.
Close.
You guys had to be close on that first record right around there. Remember 8-tracks always, the best song always clicked over to the next channel in the middle of the damn song. You were like, you're jamming and all of a sudden like, click.
Yeah.
All right, I might have dated myself right there.
I always hated that they faded out some of the tracks and then it faded back in and after the click. It's like, what the fuck? And the click always sounded better than the 8-track. It was so loud.
Yep.
It was definitely its number one demise.
Oh my god! But once you went from 8-track to cassette, you couldn't skip songs anymore.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Because you always were waiting for that click over. You're like, oh, what? Like, wow, it's not there.
Well, cassettes, that was the first time you made your own mixtape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some good stuff right there. I mean, making a mixtape off the radio, that was some good stuff, man, when you were a kid. You were like,
dedication.
Man, I'm an engineer now, 'cause
Hey Phil, I was gonna play. Did you want me? I'm gonna play the first single off of your new album, End of the Attention Span.
Right on.
Has anyone heard this? First of
I
all?
have. Not yet. Killer, man.
Nope.
Killer.
Yeah, it's really good. Let's see. Wait.
Hey, Bobby, your mic's off.
Willard, what are you drinking?
Drinking California's best red wine. Oh,
Red wine. Excellent.
Red wine, my
Chardonnay over here.
So good.
Nice.
Reminds me of Chemical Euphoria a little bit. The opening riff.
Yep. That's an observation into society's diminished attention span.
Charge.
Really diminished as it always been short, you know.
It's actually diminished. It's actually
talking to drummers,
diminishing.
right? So we have a very small attention span anyway, right? So,
Yeah, among other things.
stuff.
Phil, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Great.
When did you? So when did you? When did you record this? Like, what's been going on with you guys?
January. We recorded the album last year, December and January, and then of course COVID hit. You know, but we've been writing for about a year, and I remember going to see Death Angel at the Whisky, and I gave Will Carroll Armored Saint T-shirt, and he wore it on stage. And I told them that we were writing songs then and stuff, and then we recorded it, and now it's coming out October 23rd. We're very excited.
Nice.
It's good.
Yeah.
Are you going to release another single before it comes out, or?
Yeah, we will. We did another single. It's going to be called. I don't know if I want to say it right now, but we did another video, and the singles are going to come out, and then we're going to do probably another song or video and stuff, because we're not going to be playing live for a while, so we might as well take advantage of doing some kind of audio and visual for the fans and stuff, and we'll see what we do. But we are doing that live stream at the Whisky October 10th, and we're selling bundles, we're selling T-shirts.
It's your record release show, right?
Right, it's a record release show, yeah. So everybody should check it out. It's only $10. Support the bands, man. Support the bands.
Heck yeah.
The Whisky hasn't only been $10 in a long
to make sure
time.
that we can put it out on Facebook to make sure everybody can exploit it, so that way everybody knows exactly in October to tune in and
yeah, and we're also going to be answering questions on Facebook around that time. Everybody's going to be in line with that, and we're very excited. I wanted to say something about Death Angel and Armored Saint do have a bit of a history. We did play with Metallica, I think it was March 14th, 1985, and it was the very first time we played with Death Angel, and I remember Andy, the drummer, being so late. It was like they were all ready to get the show going, and everybody's looking for the drummer. I'm just going, "Where's Andy at? Where's Andy?" And like 5 minutes before they were set to go, he was back. He was knocking on the door and back of the Kabuki Theatre, and he barely made it. And I remember that was a very cool gig, and I remember the walls were sweating. It was like the hottest fucking place to play, and the walls were actually sweating, man.
Yeah. Actually, I think Death Angel only played like 3 songs because he was that late.
Yeah, I
Mom
think
probably had to drive him there, right?
Yeah,
so I mean,
Oh yeah.
That's a
sure.
Kabuki.
Maybe 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Kabuki. That was in 1985. Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was there.
Very cool.
I was there at that show. Hey, Phil, what's up? I don't know if
Hey,
you
man,
remember me.
How's it going, Jimmy?
Hey, man.
So yeah.
Awesome. Hey Phil, I
Awesome.
saw you guys. You guys opened for UFO at the Great American Music Hall. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Totally.
thank you. That was
Amazing
very
show.
cool. That was very cool. We love UFO. I mean, back in the 70s, that was like when the
Right.
killer bands, Thin Lizzy, UFO, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin back in the 70s. So we were big, huge UFO fans, and when we got asked to do that, we were like, "Are you kidding?" But we were very honored, and I love UFO, and they were super cool guys, and Phil Mugg fucking killed it every night. I can't believe it. The guy is like, what the, you know what I mean?
He was amazing. I was watching him the whole time. It was just Phenomenal, just phenomenal. How many
those
shows
songs
did you
are-
guys? I'm sorry, go on.
How many shows?
Yeah, with them.
I think we did like 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Is their 50th anniversary?
Uh-oh.
4 years.
It was fantastic. Vinnie Moore was killing it too. Oh my God, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just such a great night. Just a great night.
Totally. And what a great guy. He's such a nice guy too.
Is he?
Yeah, super nice guy.
Now, Phil, did you ever think that you would be this old still playing?
No.
Me neither.
No.
I mean,
I'm very thankful. You guys killed it too, man. I mean, you guys are freaking, we have a very strong fan base and people love Vio-Lence. You know what I
we're
mean?
blessed that way, yeah.
Yeah, you
But
guys
I mean,
are.
when you were young, right? You were like a 50-year-old metalhead. Now I'll probably be drinking tea sitting outside on the porch, right?
Very true.
It's
Very-
it's amazing that how young you feel being a metalhead, right? At 54 years old, I don't feel 54, man. I feel like just all I do is kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I got braces, so I can't chew bubble gum. So, all I can do is just have fun jamming with my pals, like we did in high school, and
Yeah,
it's the coolest thing ever, man.
it is the coolest thing.
It's amazing.
It brings people together, and it brings all kinds of people together. And music is the foundation to a lot of people's livelihood,
And their happiness.
And their happiness, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's an inner happiness that people overlook or write over, and it's very obvious. That's why people pick up the guitar. That's why they play drums in the garage, because for that little brief minute, you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol. You can just go escape in your instrument, whatever that instrument is. Even if you're in the symphonic band, or you're in marching band or whatever the heck it is you do. If you play the triangle and you're lead triangle, man, get it.
Right. And support for anybody that plays music, beginner, intermediate, advanced, it doesn't even matter. There's a love and a support that we all have for everyone.
Yeah, it is truly great.
Yeah.
I think that's why the metal has its longevity that it does.
Right.
So,
it's a very beautiful thing, actually.
Yeah, very proud to be a part of it at this
If I could say
stage in
that
life,
word.
man. It's definitely a blessing, right?
It sure is.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And congratulations on the release.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so
Cheers,
much.
That's so cool. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I couldn't imagine being the 10th grader driving around in my my friend's 82 Camaro, listening to Armored Saint. That here I am, I'm just shooting it with Phil. I mean, how cool is that, right? I mean,
That is very cool.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys are all, legends, living legends. Yeah.
Thanks for
awesome.
that. Thanks for your wonderful words, March.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's just a little surreal, but it's great that all of you guys are still making music and good music. It's not like you kind of feel sorry for them, like, oh, it's great that they're back, and you're like, like this kind of thing.
Was it Larry the Cable Guy? He's like, I felt bad because what was it? Georgia Satellite, is playing at 7 and doors open at 8.
Early bird special.
Right, you're like, oh man, that's too funny.
Oh, I love it. Hey, Phil, what? It looks like you're doing something like your own thing, like a solo EP with your brother. Or tell us about what you're doing on the side there.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a solo EP. It's gonna have special guests, maybe a couple of special singers, and then I'm gonna have a couple of young cats, very young, have a go at playing a couple of leads on a couple of my tracks, and just kind of paying it forward, letting a couple of the young kids, a young bass player, young guitar player. We have a couple of ideas. So it's going to be an EP, and it's going to be song orientated, and I might have a couple of instrumentals, but it's not going to be an all instrumental guitar album. It's going to have like actual songs and singers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
When should we expect that? Or, I mean, where are
Probably
you
next
right
year. I'm just barely writing the music right now and stuff like that, getting some people together and stuff like that. Gonna be sending demos and stuff. So it's very embryonic right now at the stage, but it's definitely gonna happen, and it's probably by next year sometime.
now? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you working on now? I mean, maybe probably marketing the new album. Are you
Marketing
doing
the
all
new
of that
album,
social
yes.
media? Yeah.
Social media stuff like that, and we also have a documentary movie from Russell Charrington, who's a he's University of what is it, Dartshire. He's in England, and he's a teacher, films teacher, and he interviewed James and Lars, and a lot of like Cliff Bernstein, a lot of people in the music industry, Scott Ian, and it's about Armored Saint, and it's a movie about our beginnings in the history of Armored Saint and stuff like that, and that's probably going to come out next year.
Oh, that's
Also.
exciting. Great.
I think Scott Ian is in every single heavy metal documentary he ever made.
I'm not kidding. He probably is.
He's not in it. He's probably the executive producer, right?
I used to see him on MTV almost every metal show.
Every
Yeah.
Every metal show. Scott Ian was in it.
In his defense, he is a pretty cool dude, man. He's pretty
No,
cool.
No.
He's a great dude to hang out with. He's super metal, so.
Yeah, nobody's mad
yeah,
at him.
come
I
on.
think we're all just kind of jealous.
Like,
who's his agent?
Yeah.
He's probably not going to tell anybody.
That's funny.
Right?
No, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I agree.
Totally good. Yeah. I got to say
I should have
something.
invited him. It's like I should have invited him. He made him come.
Yeah. I got to say something about Will too. It's like Will knows his music, and when I was working with him, what astonished me about him too is that he knows so much about not just music but about movies. He could and stuff like that, and we connected very well with that. We would be having fun at work, quoting movies and Scarface and all that stuff. But he's very well versed in not only music but movies and a lot of art like that. And that's why me and him got along very well.
I'm a big kid. Right now, I'm going through like comic book phase. Every like 4 or 5 years, I pull out my comic book boxes and start going to comic shops and spending lots of money on comics. So right now, I'm in the middle of that phase. But I'm just a big kid.
Nice. Cool.